Yo guys, we're back for another episode of FIFA 19 Career Mode with Bolton Wanderers. Starting off today's episode with our first game in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace. Hopefully trying to go through in this cup. It'd be nice to have a cup run with this side, obviously being the championship side and stuff like that. It'd be quite nice to get a bit of a cup run going, hopefully beat some of these better teams out of the Premier League and stuff like that, to kind of scout out how well we will play if we did get into the Premier League next season. One player to definitely have in this side is Damari Gray from Leicester. I know that he is a very good player on this career mode and is on many other FIFAs. He's got very good agility and dribbling, and he's got a lot of pace. So he is a player we'll have to watch out for in this one as we get straight into the action here with Howardson a minute in, trying to push and put the pressure on Crystal Palace in this game to hopefully get out, like I say, get into the next round. But unluckily there, Van Buren puts the ball wide of the post, and it does mean the scores remain at 0-0 at this point. But like I say, we were definitely pushing straight from the off against Crystal Palace and looking like quite a good side, to be fair, against them, as they come forward on an attack of their own down this left-hand side again with, like I say, Damari Gray, the player we have to watch out for, as they play a bit of passing play. He's a direct runner. He passes the ball into Benteke, who gives it out to Ayew, comes back to Benteke, who smashes the ball in the back of the net to make it 1-0. A very good finish there from Benteke at the keeper's near post. Absolutely smashed the ball into the back of the net. There was a lot of power behind that. It was lucky that the keeper didn't get to it. And it does mean that we do go behind against the Premier League side in this match. It was looking like they started getting into the game a little bit more at this point. Really looking like they were the Premier League side, unlike they did at the start of the game. But as you see here, they do grow in confidence after that goal as they try and get on another attack. We try and get the ball clear. It doesn't go so well as Townsend steps past his man, takes the shot, and the keeper makes the save, and it goes out for a corner. We got very lucky there, realistically, from a very, very good Townsend shot. As you see here, he absolutely smashes one at the keeper, but the keeper at full stretch makes the save and keeps us in it at just 1-0. As, like I say, Damari Gray always causing them problems, giving the ball into Benteke, who lays it off to his man. He takes the shot, as you see here, and it goes just wide of the post. Luckily for us, it just goes wide of the post, and it's really what we needed at this point. But they were looking very threatening and looking like the most likely to score the next goal. But we do come forward on an attack with Sammy Amiobi down this right-hand side, giving it to Wolowoski, laying it into Van Buren, who plays it to Vela, who I haven't played very much recently. He lays it back to Van Buren, who takes the shot and smashes it across the keeper's front of the goal, and it ends up in the back of the net just before half-time. It was literally one of the only shots we had after that first chance, and he ends up burying it into the top corner. Very difficult shot for the keeper to save, and it does mean that we were back on level peggings against the Premier League side, and I was very, very happy when that goal went in the back of the net. I was absolutely delirious when it went in the back of the net. But we do come forward on another attack just after half-time, trying to start the way we finished the half. As you see here, Rusavalo runs at his man, gives it off to Vela, who turns his man, gives it to Howison, who takes the shot. Well, he doesn't actually. He gives it to Olowoski, who gives it to Vela, who gives it back to Murphy, back to Vela, giving it to Van Buren. A little 1-2 between the two of them. We were just playing it patiently as Howison gets the shot off now, and it goes just wide of the post from the first time shot from Howison. Probably should have done a little better, if I'm honest. To be honest, like I say, shouldn't have probably took it first time shot. I kind of rushed it after being so patient, and it does go wide of the post. as we go again, as they try and get the ball clear from the goal kick, we win the ball back, and a brilliant piece of play here. As you see, quick bit of passing, lays it into Van Buren, who takes the shot, and it just goes wide of the post in the 56th minute. Like I say, at this point, after we scored that first goal, we were definitely looking like the more dangerous side and looking like we were going to go on to win this game. But we did win the ball back, as you see, as Crystal Palace try and came on an attack, but we do win the ball back. Beavers runs, gives it to Amiobe, who has an overlap from Vela. He plays it into Rusavalo, who tries to hold off his man. He does so and puts the ball wide of the post. It should have been an easy finish, but he didn't do so. He passes the ball well wide of the post. It should have ended up in the back of the net, really. But it does mean that the scores at this point remain at 0-0. But again, from another quick counter attack, we do go on another attack with Sammy Amiobe, giving it to Van Buren, laying it back to Sammy Amiobe, who plays it out wide to Rusavalo, who is in a lot of space. He whips the ball in. It passes Amiobe, but it lands at Van Buren's feet in the 80th minute to make it 2-1. And what a piece of play. It was so lucky that Sammy Amiobi missed the ball, to be honest. And it landed straight in the feet of Van Buren. As you see here, the cross was originally intended for Amiobi. He runs a bit too far, and it leaves a simple finish for Van Buren. When it lands at his feet, the keeper didn't do well enough there. And it does mean we've turned it around against the Premier League side after going 1-0 down early on in this match. We turn it round to make it 2-1. And I was absolutely ecstatic with the way we played in that match. As you see, we do come away with the victory against the Premier League side. And I was so happy, like I say, with getting the win out of this game was absolutely brilliant for me. I was so happy that we did get the win, and it was, like I say, it was a game that I'd like to use for the fact that it can sort of help us like suss out how to play against the Premier League side if we do get into the Premier League, shall I say. Before we go into a training session here, as you see, trying to get a few overalls up on our players. No one, in fact, increased in that one, but they all increased that little bit in certain stats and stuff like that. As we get an offer for Sammy Amiobe, which we go ahead and reject, as he has been playing quite well so far this season. But we do go straight into the second and final game of today's episode, on the high of beating Crystal Palace in the last one, going in against Bristol City. Still is the top goal scorers this season with 45 goals we have scored, which is very good. The team behind us have only scored 40, and one player I was definitely looking at watching in this game was Andreas Fireman, because I know he is a very good player, and on this game he seems like a very good player as well. So maybe at some point we'll bring him into the side to help us maybe increase that little bit more. But we was mainly trying to keep him out of goal scoring opportunities in this game instead of actually letting him through and score a few. But we do, like I say, go straight into this game hoping to get the 3 points out of this one, as we cut straight from kickoff basically. We get a chance, as you see, we win the ball back, getting the ball out wide, back inside. We try and get the ball through, but the keeper makes the clearance. It only comes as far as our midfield. Van Buren lays it off to Wildschut, who plays the ball wide of the post. It wasn't the best of shots. I was hoping he was going to hit it with his right foot and bend it into the far corner, but instead he decides to hit it with his left and curl it into the near post, and it just didn't work at all. But we do come forward again on another attack in the 26th minute, coming forward with Van Buren leading the lines, taking the shot and blazing the ball just wide of the post. And honestly, I was so unhappy when that went wide. I thought after scoring them 2 goals in the last game, I thought he's going to score this no problem. He didn't do so, and the scores remain at 0-0. But we do get another opportunity, and again it is Van Buren making that run, really seeming to fit into the squad a little bit more, taking the shot, and this time it does end up in the back of the net just before half time. Once again, getting another goal. He's third in 2 games in this episode, which is brilliant for us. Hopefully he'll come into a little bit of form now and start banging in the goals. As you see here, he overlaps his man, takes the shot, and it ends up in the back of the net. The keeper probably should have done a bit better. As you see, it was pretty much, it wasn't too far out of the way for him, but he doesn't make the save, and I am very happy he doesn't, as it does mean we are now 1-0 up in this game away from home with his 4th goal in the championship so far this season, which is happy for me. But we do come forward to try and extend our lead again with Van Buren laying it to Stephen Ireland, who gets taken down, and it is Baker who takes him down for the penalty. The ref does give it, and it was a red card for Nathan Baker as well, which for them just isn't going well. Is like I say, this was the chance to make it 2-0 as Will Buckley steps up to take it and takes it, and it ends up being saved by the keeper, and the defence gets the ball clear in a second as we try and get the ball back into the box. It doesn't happen, and the defence clears it out for a throw-in, and nothing comes of it. As we do come forward on another attack with Wiltshire again down that left-hand side, turning his man beautifully there, leaving himself with acres of space. He gives it to Van Buren, who heads the ball in for a 2nd time in this game, a 4th time in this episode. 2 goals each game he's had in this episode, which is, I am very happy with that. If he can carry on with this kind of form, as you see here, the header, the keeper gets a hand to it, he tips it onto the bar, but it was only the underside of the bar, and he turns it into the back of the net, which is brilliant for us. 2-0 up. Like I say, we struggled pretty much in the first half to get that breakthrough, but as soon as we did, it sort of let a guard down there from Bristol, and we got ourselves the 2nd goal. But we do come forward on another attack, trying to extend our lead even more, and Van Buren again gets there with the 1st time finish with a sort of chip shot over the keeper to make it 3-0 now. And what a honestly, he's been brilliant in these last 2 games. He's been clinical, scoring 5 goals in these 2 games this episode, and honestly I can't be more happy. He scored every goal in this episode that we have actually scored, which is brilliant for us so far. And like I say, I could just hope he carries on this form. Scoring 2 against Palace and a hat-trick in this game was brilliant, and he gets his 6th goal of the championship now, doubling his tally in this game, and getting what he basically equalled his tally for the rest of the season just in this game. As you see, he did get taken off later on in the game to give him a bit of a rest. But that is how that match finished. We do win it 3-0, and that is 2 wins from 2, further on in the FA Cup and further on in the Championship. Hopefully pushing on, and Van Buren definitely made strides in this episode of proving what he can do when he's on form. As you see, we didn't really do it until like the end of the first half / 2nd half. But we do go in for a training session, and that is all for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.